Hello and welcome to the Boost Over Ball podcast, your go-to place for everything Rocket League with your hosts, K-Cube, AJ Binky, and Red. So lean forward, lock in, and get ready to go Boost Over Ball.
Everything is looks to be fine and dandy. What you think?
My bad. Sending out the final messages.
All good.
I was checking the numbers on that video I put in the Discord today.
How's it doing?
It's at 6 likes.
Hell yeah.
I just so you could check because I got tagged in it.
Fair. That's fair. Fair.
Be sure to buy a home is safe. It's like $8 on the Steam store, dude. It's my plug to the chat.
Yeah, I've been seeing that a lot in the Flames server.
Yeah, no, it was fun. I beat the dude. It took me 2 hours to beat the first level.
Oh jeez.
It's like the night one of like FNAF. It was like the version of that. It took me 2 hours to get past the first level.
Oh my god. Fun though?
No, super fun. I have not even started the second night. Not even attempted it.
Fair.
Got to clear out 4 hours.
Yeah, well, good to hear. But you ready to get underway here?
Yes, sir.
Hell yeah. Well, hello and welcome back to the Boost Over Ball podcast. To listeners new and old, hello and welcome to the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Kyle, K-Cube, and in the bottom right, we have Quilly. How's it going?
Yar.
Quilly the Goblin.
Yar, am a goblin. Doing good. Ready to talk some ball and legacies, even.
Oh, yeah. Well, on today's episode, we will do our final review of the finals for the Slash France Cup. We'll talk about the last three matches, the two semifinals and the finals, and see how our predictions fared. We'll then move into Red's roster rumors. It's a little bit shorter. As we mentioned, it'll continue to get shorter. Until next week will be the last episode for a little bit, I would imagine. Before finishing off by doing an RLCS player spotlight, I will do a deep dive into their RLCS journey, where they started from, where they are now, including their team and personal accolades. So stick around to the end to figure out to hear about who this week's player profile is. But without further ado, are you ready to talk some ball?
Sure, let's get to it.
Okay. The Slash France Cup concluded on November 1st. This is our first episode since then, so we will be talking about the finals. We talked about it for about 2 weeks straight there for a second, but the results are as follows. The Gentlemates are able to sweep Lost 3-0, and we have Karmine Corps taking down Vitality 3-2 in Game 5 before Gentlemates is able to beat Karmine Corps in the Grand Finals 4-2. So a couple of quick results there, but working through the semifinals, there was one overtime game in the Lost Mates series, but for the most part, Gentlemates just seemed to kind of outclass them. Did you think anything different or anything stick out to you about that specifically?
No, went as is. You're talking about Lost, right?
Yep, Lost Mates. Yep.
Yeah. No, it went. I mean, I did give them. I said if there was a chance, they would have like a somewhat of a chance. Like if Mates doesn't perform as expected, like comparatively to the weeks prior, but unfortunately, that wasn't the case. Mates still dominant, and it showed in the big sweep.
Yeah, for sure. And then moving over into our second match, we have Karmine Corps Vitality. After Karmine takes game 1 2-0. Vitality takes 2 and 3, and granted it's a 5-game series, so no timeouts here. But Vitality are not able to close it out as they get shut out in games 4 and 5 as KC wins those 2-0 and 3-0. So a little bit interesting to me. We kind of talked about it last week that Zen probably would have to be in MVP form to kind of take the series off of Karmine Corps, and it kind of seemed to be that way. Vitality scored in the games that they lost, they scored 0 goals. They scored 4 total, whereas Karmine Corps puts up 8 goals. So really kind of it's a little bit of a the same story as we head into the finals, but we'll talk about that more here in a second. But For Vitality, you kind of hope that they can put it together a little bit more, that Zen and Stizzy can be a little bit more involved. I think that team is too talented to not be scoring any goals whatsoever. So what are your thoughts?
I mean, the monkey's not off the back of Vitality. We thought maybe they had a chance. But I mean, it's only one more game past, so isn't it? The last time they faced was the Vitality win. Was there any in between?
No.
The French. Okay, 'cause the French thing really confused me because they did play 10 full games and there were some rematches and whatnot.
Yeah,
It's been a while since
Vitality
we've been up to
went
date with it.
in terms of series. They went 1-1 with Karmine Corp. They won a series and they lost a series.
Yeah. So we see here. Nothing's changed. Maybe that one Vitality win was a fluke. We'll see going forward. But as far as everything's concerned, Vatira still owns Zen, especially in the head-to-head matchup department as of late. And they did get a 3-2 though, so it kept it interesting. Definitely a close series, and that's the best kind of Rocket League. You can't argue with that because who wants to sit and watch a blowout unless you're a fan of that team?
Yeah, no kidding.
Interesting. But how much stock we're putting into this tournament in best of fives instead of best of sevens? We will see how it affects this team in the long term.
Indeed. And in moving into our grand finals, and this goes back to being a best of 7, but a little bit similarly to the Vitality Karmine series, Karmine is able to take games 1 and 2, 2-0 and 1-0. Mates then take a timeout and win 4 straight. So after not scoring any goals in game 1 or 2, they explode for 6-3, 6-2 goals. That's ridiculous.
NRG level timeout buff.
No kidding. They score 17 goals in 4 games, so 4 1/3 a game is what they were averaging there. Karmine scores 10 the whole series, including 3 in the first 2 games. So 7-17 in the last 4, like a plus 10 goal differential for Mates in those final 4 games. And really, Game 4 was a 1-goal game, and Game 6 was a 1-goal game, but Mates kind of ran away with it, and they looked terrifying.
Yeah, I will say, well, pat on my back. I didn't get them all right, but all of them, I was 1 game off.
Yeah,
all three matchups. I did have all the winners correct though, so I will take that. But yeah, no, insanely dominant after the timeout. The first 2 games looked like Karmine Corp were gonna be doing Karmine Corp things, but like doing it, they're playing Rocket League the right way and playing some strategic and fundamental ball to get the win. They literally, like you said, shut them out in the first 2 games, and I don't know whatever happened after that timeout. I don't know, something about Archie. I think the power of friendship just surrounds Archie now. I think Joyo's just taken the power from Joyo, from that old Queso squad. Because I feel like that's the originator of power of friendship. And it just slowly transitioned, and then Joyo, he passes the torch on to Archie, who went on to do his own thing now with Mates. And we'll see what they can do, because it really, from those first 2 games, it was bad. It was rough. And again, Archie, he's not the player you expect, but he always shows up. No matter what, he somehow always shows up at the biggest moments. And yeah, it was a great win for the Mates. We'll see how Gentlemates fares this season, because obviously having Mates at LANs, there's nothing better for the game of it other than obviously Karmine Corp and Vitality. But as another team, unfortunately, another French fan-based team, another thing for them to root for that we don't have. Unfortunately, we have NRG, and that's it. Actually, I'm not even. It's as of right now, it's all we got going for us. So, France, EU still looks scary, because this doesn't even include the masses of the rosters, because you still have the likes of GK, still have. Is that it? Who else is good? Did Ninjas ever sign a team?
Unsure.
I don't think Ninjas ever signed a team.
I don't think that they did.
Huh. I mean, a bunch of ragtag teams, but yeah, I don't want to spoil. I think one of the teams we're going to be mentioning in the roster rumors, I think the young up and coming squad will be interesting, but obviously we'll talk about that in a bit. But yeah, it's an interesting tournament. Congrats to Mates for getting the win over Carmine Corp, not letting them start off the season hot. And it's crazy that we're saying start off the season right now because season starts in 2 weeks.
10 days.
10 days, a week and a half. Yeah, that's insane. Because obviously, like I've been saying it every week, we're so used to this being the dead spot of the season because it's such a long break until January when the opens start picking up again. But we're getting them now en route to the smaller land. So
the kickoff land, yep.
Yeah, kickoff land. I can never remember the exact name for it.
So also I would like to mention, so for just dates in terms of like for everything else. So we have our double elimination open qualifier November 14th and 15th. That is a week from Friday and a week from Saturday. Then November 16th is the Swiss stage. To take 32 teams into 16. Then our group stage will be November 21st, which is the Friday following the 14th. So it's 2 weeks from Friday, where the 16 teams will split into 2 8-team groups. Top 4 teams per group advance to the playoffs. We then will have our playoffs, which start on November 22nd, that next day, and then don't conclude until the following weekend because the top 6 will play at the kickoff LAN. So the kickoff LAN will be the 6th of December, but after that happens, we will have to wait about a month for more RLCS action, as Open 2 doesn't start until January 16th. So I just wanted to let a couple people know that there's still there's going to be Rocket League. There will still be Rocket League to watch, but that's really where we're at.
Also, something for us to talk about, luckily. FIFA E will keep it interesting. Look forward to it. Yeah, but Rocket League is coming. And obviously, with the kickoff LAN, things are going to get interesting. Because we know kind of how it works now, but we don't know the ramifications and how it's going to be affecting long term, or if this is actually going to work.
Yeah, we will have to wait and see on that one. So we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, so to speak. But what do you think? Is it time to do the thing?
Play the jingle.
Yep.
Get the jingle in.
Here we are. There we are.
I just wanted to let you know, just I was just listening to you silently enjoying this song.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. That is totally fair. But in a Reds roster rumors on today's episode, we have a new team alert. Top Le, a team of Creams, Calm, and Parth. We also have 3-point shooters, new team of Klaus, Unbroken, and Pan that will be competing in Sam. And we have Kinotrope set to re-enter RLCS. They have not announced their team yet, but they will re-enter RLCS, signing a new roster. And last but certainly not least, you mentioned it a little bit earlier, but Novo Esports signs the roster of Acronic, Juke, and Nico. So 2 of the former BDS players and Acronic. So a little bit of a veteran to play alongside the 2 young up-and-comers. But congratulations to them for getting signed. And they certainly would hope to be a team that you would see at the main events in EU. What are your thoughts on any of these? Any of them stick out to you?
Like I mentioned before, the young team, obviously in Novo Esports now, we can mention. I think they're interesting. Obviously, BDS had abysmal placements up until LCQs where they made the grand finals, but maybe we don't know if it was lightning in a bottle or if that was actually their coming out party and making it dang near all the way to the LAN, aka Worlds. Unfortunately, coming up short to Ninjas in Pajamas. So make sure I get the right org name. But yeah, we'll see if they can build off of that because Nico being the prospect he's supposed to be, it should be interesting coming into year two, especially under a org backed name. So that also gives some incentive, and on top of that, gives some better support and ability to build as a player.
Yeah, for sure. But like we mentioned earlier at the beginning of the episode, as we get closer and closer to the end of signups, which end next week, there will be less and less roster rumors as all the teams have kind of shaken out. So barring something absolutely insane from happening, most of the rosters have kind of settled out and they know who they're competing with. So we will continue to talk about that. And I'm sure the roster rumors that we will have moving forward will be for FIFA E. Now that those qualifiers and events are continuing to happen. But you ready to jump into our last big segment on this one?
Yes, the deep dive.
So on today's episode, we're going to be doing a player spotlight, and the player that we've chosen for this first one is going to be Atomic, NA Atomic, NRG Atomic, whichever you would like to say. So I will first kind of go out and talk about his playing history. And I'll start out by saying Atomic started his RLCS career out early. And I don't mean early like as he was, 13 or 14 years old. I mean illegally early. So Atomic was banned for cheating. And by that, I mean he subbed underage in an open qualifier when RLCS required you to be 16 to play. On September 21st, 2017, Atomic was banned from all Psyonix sponsored tournaments and sessions until June 30th, 2019 for illegally subbing in the RLCS Season 4 play-ins while he was an underage and unregistered player. So he played on someone else's account, similar to what Zen did, and got a year ban for it. That's where the precedent came from. His ban was from September 21st, 2017, past his eligibility date, and his ban ended on July 30th, 2019, as I said before. On August 6th, 2019, he then joined Ghost Gaming, who he played on as an active roster player and then as an inactive player until April 7th, 2020, where he was then picked up by Envy, until 2022, where he was picked up by G2 to play alongside JNaps and Rizzo until Daniel and Beast Mode joined him on G2 and then were eventually bought out by NRG, where he currently resides today. So one of a few players that have been banned and have then gone on to win a world championship, Zen being one, Atomic being another. It certainly seems like this hasn't been a huge hindrance to his career. How do you feel about the ban, especially now that they're allowing 14-year-olds to compete in RLCS?
Well, yeah, obviously, hindsight changes things. But I mean, obviously, we also know it wasn't like a rare occurrence. The likes of Zen, the greatest player in Rocket League, arguably, also suffering the same fate. To label it as cheating, is that the official labeling of what the ban is for?
Yep.
I feel like that's kind of crazy. I feel like there could be a better term because having a cheating ban under your legacy might come off a little weird. Because I mean, obviously, you're not gaining an advantage by having a younger human being on your team. It's just against the rules, obviously. So I think the term cheating might be the wrong definition, but technically, I don't know, isn't. But yeah, we've seen players like Zen do this before, and yeah, the game is only getting younger and younger in terms of the top players. because
Oh, Seiko is
yeah,
another one I forgot to mention.
yeah. I was also trying to think of it because I Zen's obviously the biggest one, but there's obviously also another one, and it was Seiko. Um, yeah, I think it's a thing that happens. Um, I guess if you want to be a world champion one day, play below the play below the age limit for Rocket League.
It certainly would appear so. But yeah, so from there we'll kind of move into his team accolades and his best placements in RLCS. We have a third place RLCS Season X Winter Major, third place. So that was during the the last of the open, or the right before the open era. We have a first place Winter Split Major in 2022. We have a second place second place 2022 Worlds with G2, and a second place 2024 or a second place 2022 Worlds with G2 where they lost to BDS at Dickies Arena. We have a second place at the 2024 Copenhagen Major. We have a first place win at the London Major in 2024. And as everybody remembers, and I'm sorry for Red even though he's not here, and a second place at Worlds 2024 against BDS again at Dickies Arena. Deja vu there on that one. We then have a top four, third, fourth at the Birmingham Major in this year. We have a top four at the Raleigh Major and a first place at the 2025 World Championships in Lyon. So the placements there with two major wins and a World Championship puts them in rarefied air in terms of NA players. Certainly the list of NA World Champions is quite short to begin with, and Atomic joins that list. But then let's move on to his personal accolades. He was the 2024 Shift Summer League Week 3 MVP. That tournament ended up getting shut down before it concluded, but nevertheless, Week 3 MVP. He was the 2022 Winter Major MVP, and he was your 2022 NA RLCS MVP. So on the final day of the World Championships, they do each regional MVP, and in 2022, Atomic was the NA MVP for that region. And then according to Octane.gg, he was ranked the 19th best player in 2021. Shift had him ranked as the 5th best player of 2022, the 17th best player of 2023, and then Atomic is the second player with the most RLCS major wins at 2, tied with Itachi. Second player with the most RLCS major wins. Okay. Atomic is the player with the most RLCS LAN wins, 3 in the open era, tied with Vatira and Monkey Moon. Atomic is one of 4 players in all RLCS history to win 4 RLCS regionals in a row in a major region, tied with Beast Mode, Daniel, and Drali. Atomic is the first player, alongside his teammates of Beast Mode and Daniel, to have participated in every grand finals in an entire RLCS season in 2024. That shows how dominant they were. Atomic, alongside his teammates of Daniel and Beast Mode, have participated in 11 RLCS grand finals in a row from RLCS 2024 Major Number 1 through NA Open Number 1 Major... Sorry, let me rephrase that. To have participated in 11 RLCS Grand Finals in a row from RLCS 2024 Major 1 NA Open Number 1 through RLCS 2025 Birmingham Major Open Number 2. So truly quite a few accolades there for Atomic. He certainly, in my opinion at least, has to be considered one of the greatest NA Rocket League players of all time, and he is still going. There's still opportunity for him to differentiate and separate himself from the rest of the pack there, but certainly quite the player. What do you think about Atomic?
I think I'm pretty sure I did not hear it. You didn't even mention how many regional wins he has.
No,
which I don't even know if we have that number. Probably too high to count, because especially with NRG last year, single-handedly winning, I think at least at minimum 2 regionals are only losing 2 regionals out of all 6. It's 4 alone last year, so a lot of winning for an entire career for this guy. Obviously come up short so many times at second place and top 4s. This guy has always been, at the very least, winning. It's never been not winning, except for, it's hard to describe it because he got to like so close so many times and just come up short. But obviously, there's a lot of first places in there, two majors, and finally one Worlds. Which obviously Worlds is the biggest one. Everyone cares about that one more than anything because there's only one of those. And obviously a grander stage. So yeah, this guy for an entire career has never been slacking, never fallen out of touch. I know we've had that argument before of is he the GOAT of NA? I think there's definitely an argument. One of the things he's quieter more than anyone, or he's one of the quieter ones of the argued ones, because obviously Garrett being one of the heads of NRG and being one of the biggest brands in Rocket League, and Justin having the shot of all shots, and seeing him in his little braces on stage doing an interview. Atomic is he's one of the more quieter champions.
15
regional wins,
and then another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 second places.
Like I said, a lot of winning on every stage.
It's a lot.
Yeah, he's one of the most consistent and high IQ players. He's never really putting himself in a bad position, and in turn, that is benefiting the team beyond belief, because you can always rely on him. That's the correct way to put it. You can always rely on that guy to be making the right decision no matter what. So no matter what situation you are in, you always have that to fall back to, is that Atomic and his intelligence will always do something correct and not let you fall too far out of control of the situation.
Yeah. I mean, he truly is a special player. I'm very excited to see what he and NRG can do this season. And like, I kind of, we still have to go back and do that what if episode, right? But like, what if he didn't get a ghost touch at Dickies the second time around against BDS?
What if?
Yeah, but
I don't know. I probably wouldn't have been so sad that day.
It's like the butterfly effect too, though, right? Because it's like if they had ended up winning that series and won a world championship in front of an NA crowd, would they then have crushed all the hearts and souls of the French fans in Lyon? Probably not. So I mean, I feel like I kind of would take that, though it would have been cool to see in person, but like it was kind of cool to watch him get it on enemy soil,
Yeah, no, it definitely adds to it, especially after what Monkey Moon did on our soil. It's still, see, because that was only game 6, so they still had to win that game. That was still the tie game, and then on top of that had to win another game. So it really is still up in the air. But obviously, that play alone lost the series without a doubt. There's no arguing that definitely lost the series. But that's all it takes is one mistake, and it does affect my what I was just saying before, how reliable he is. But obviously, it's one thing on the biggest stage, the biggest moment, and we've seen people go through the replays and see it was a ghost touch. He hit it. Be for real. You think being on a LAN we don't get ghost touches, but Rocket League ain't perfect. Maybe on UE5 there's no more ghost touches on LANs.
That's a crazy sentence.
We can pray.
We certainly can. But man, I'm a little bit shorter of an episode today. We were working on an interview and it ultimately fell through, unfortunately, but we'll have a lot to talk about next week as we'll do our preview, and no breaks. We're diving straight in. NA and EU Open qualifiers will take place on the same day, so there's going to be a lot to talk about. A full day of Rocket League Open qualifiers to watch and to check out. So we will certainly be updating you on all the teams that you should be looking out for, and all the, maybe even taking a look at some of the brackets on start.gg for some of the, the teams to open to qualify through. But was there anything else that you wanted to talk about? RLCS, roster rumors, player spotlight stuff, the /France Cup, Anything else?
You have a bold prediction for who's going to be the number one player in the world after this year? I remember last time before the season, I shot out there with Drolly. That will be my claim to fame that that he turned into a god for a little bit there. I don't know if I'm able to do it again. Obviously, Drolly not that hard of a pick, especially with how good he was. Do you have any breakout players that are going to be coming out this season and making a run for that number one spot, or will it be one of the already established players?
So I think that the emergence of Stizzy will allow Zen to kind of move back into the the kind of the spot that that he preoccupied before. So I'm kind of hoping that for his sake that he's able to do that. But in terms of kind of breakout candidate players, I'd be interested to see if we can kind of get something going with one of the newer players in NA, like a Mech. Maybe you finally see now that Parth and Two Piece are kind of separated. Maybe Two Piece is able to do something again. I'd like to see Wavy continue his form from the World Championships, because I think like realistically he was like the only good things that Shopify had going for him. And his roster of Two Piece and Talk, I think, could actually benefit him pretty decently. So I guess you know what, for NA I'll say Wavy. I'll stay on that bandwagon, and then in Europe, I think I might go off the board, and I think I'll go. I feel like you can't say. I don't want to say Archie because I feel like that seems pretty easy. I think Oski could be like super mechanical and really pop. But I'm gonna go Yujin. I think he's going to kind of make Gentlemates regret letting him walk there. So I'll go Wavy and Yujin.
Not bad picks. I say Yujin does have some doubters because of his hero ball style gameplay. I think he does too much sometimes, and it's to the not to the harm of the team. Detriment. It's clearly hearing his words.
One might say he's a young first killer.
One might say. But yeah, no, I think a breakout player of an already established one who's going to put himself up there. I think it's going to be Appjack. I think GK has a great team around him. Seiko and Joyo are just two phenomenal players. I think Appjack has a chance to do something special, possibly win a LAN. But yeah, in terms of NA players, we got Talk. My bold prediction, who's going to be insane this season, going to go off on the main stage. And let's just root with Nico. In Nico, we trust.
Okay. I think those are both pretty good options. I am intrigued to see how they can perform. I mean, neither of us mentioned player who kind of really started to show up towards the end of the season last year, Rusty Z, or Mozzarella. I think both of those players had pretty good outings last year, but nevertheless, I think that there's a lot of options this year. It certainly seems like, and with the boring answers too, right? It could still be Beast Mode, could still be Daniel, could still be Atomic, could still be Drolly, could still be Vatira, Zen, all the usual suspects that we've seen. It's hard to stay at the top, but there's never a time like the present to continue to show why you're the best, and that's certainly what NRG will hope to do. But we will have to wait and see on that one.
It'll be interesting. But even in like minor regions, you got Sphinx, who's an up and coming player. You have the entire who did
you actually have?
Which
SSA
one got poached?
This time?
What?
You actually have SSA this time?
Yeah, but like, do you though? They're gonna get professionally swept at every land. Like they're there, but like, are they there? But also you got Swift going over to Furia. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of new faces and new places that can do something even crazier than last year.
Could this be the year?
How they ended.
Could this be the year of Banana Head? Okay.
I think
I had to ask.
Banana Head. I think unless he goes to NA, No. It's
Hey,
a very it's an unfortunate no.
they made a top 6 at Worlds.
They did, and I'm pretty sure they got swept or dang near swept out after that.
Oh,
So
they won a game.
they won one game. They lost 4-1 the last series, I believe. That's how it went. Yeah. That top 6 will still. Is it a fluke? More than likely, but was it fun? Hell, fucking yeah! My bad at that.
No, yeah, no, you're hell yeah.
The shark
You're,
on that one.
you're
Jump the
so,
shark on that one.
hey, they took a game off Falcons, and they took a game off GK. They won 2 games, and they got knighted by a baguette. So really, who's the real winner here?
And like how the Worlds went, once they became honorary French, they lost out and got eliminated.
Yeah.
Wait, let's just keep the episode going a little bit longer. Is this the year Sam does it? Do we have faith in Sam, or are we lost as stock had been lost in them?
No, I think they'll win an event this year.
You think they'll win one of the events? You think they build off with Falcons? Falcons laid the soil. They laid the concrete.
Falcons walked so Furia could run.
Oh, is that a world prediction?
No.
Could you imagine?
That would be crazy.
Imagine they would just come out and win Worlds, South America Worlds winner.
I mean, we've seen them win major LAN events before, right? They won a Gamers 8 before it became the Esports World Cup. That was also crew battles, but it's a little bit different, but it's still the same. Like, Yan is still a phenomenal player. Lost is still incredible, and I think bringing in Swift will really help out. I don't know what happened to them last year. They criminally underperformed, like, consistently outside of Sam, right? Like, in groups, they get swept by Furia. They get, they got swept by ROC and didn't make it out in Worlds. So it's like, realistically, that's not the Furia we've come to expect. I would say that they have a better chance than ever to kind of do the unthinkable.
You say ROC beat Furia?
Yeah, 3-0 in lowers.
Oh my gosh!
In Group A,
forgot about that.
No. I'm sorry, I read that wrong. Furia swept ROC and then got swept by Karmine.
All right, that makes a lot more sense. I was like, I don't remember that. That would have been insane.
Yeah, no, that would have been.
I need to double check.
Yeah, no. Sorry, I gotta check my math on that one. I was wrong. But to be fair, in that Karmine Furia series, we had 3 minutes of overtime. Right, game 2 was overtime. Game 3 was overtime. Game 1 was a 1-goal game. So it was very close, but they just they couldn't get it done.
Yeah, that's the thing. At least they have something to build off of. Because they were all so close. So it's like these are such horrible results, and it's not. You got to look at it on a deeper level. But unfortunately, they kind of. I don't want to say blew it up, but they definitely retooled in losing Drafino and replacing him with Swift. So it'll be interesting to see. Because obviously the Sam 2 seed was the powerhouse of all powerhouses going into after Major 2 and going into Worlds. Were they at EWC?
Secret?
Yeah.
Yes.
Everyone that made Worlds made it there, so definitely Secret. I can't remember how they did at EWC.
I can tell you in about 10 seconds. So, I believe Team Secret made playoffs, so they made top 8, and they lost 4-1 to Karmine.
The team that went on to just sweep out the whole thing, pretty much.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I mean...
But you know who did not make it out of their group? Furia.
Unfortunately, they had the group of death. They did have the group of death in that situation.
You know who didn't win a single series? Also Furia.
Yeah.
They get swept. They got swept by Ultimates, and then they lost 3-1 to GK.
That was it for them? It's only 2 and out? I'm trying to remember EWC.
Yep.
It was such a weird concept.
Well, because they did 4 they did 6. Yeah. They did 4
it's either win 2 or lose 2.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, and they unfortunately lost 2 because, I mean, obviously the group wasn't ideal, but they didn't do anything to like make themselves look like they were competitive. So yeah, it was an unfortunate way to go out, and obviously Sam as a whole, and by as a whole I just mean the top two, because that's all that really matters over in South America, unless MIBR. And that's not. Did they resign with? He's re-signed with MIBR, right? The Bull squad.
I think MIBR released their roster.
I know they signed with an org. I know the Bull's on an org. I thought he re-signed with them after.
I thought that they did as well, but no, yeah, Astromix, Sad, and Raise Bull is the MIBR roster.
Yeah, so we'll see if they can put in a little fight, especially because we don't know how Drafino's going to mesh with the Secret Boys, and we don't know if that was also lightning in a bottle or if they can build off that. But yeah, no, this season from top to bottom, I think it's the closest it's ever going to be in terms of a like team skill. I don't know if it may keep getting closer and closer after this because we're seeing the emergence of an OCE top 6. Is it via Bacchus mods? is it because they're kind of figuring it out? We don't know. We'll find out. But we're just waiting on. Everyone's running ahead, and we're just waiting on SSA to catch up.
Yeah, well, but at least this time we'll actually get to see like some SSA players compete.
Yeah, because I know we were talking to Harmonic, and he said they had one player. They offered a sub spot, but obviously out of morals and just being like him wanting to grow as a player, he didn't want to be a backup and just sit and watch the players play. He wanted to compete for himself and grow as a player. So we'll see. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but I'm assuming we'll be seeing him if he's as good as Harmonic said he is. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, it certainly will. But was there anything else that you wanted to add before we wrap up for today?
No, I think I had enough yap in there at the end. Little filler couple minutes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, with that, we would like to thank you all so much for listening. We'd like to remind everyone that this podcast is proudly brought to you by our name-level supporters on Patreon, Alyssa B. Please remember to rate us 5 stars wherever you listen to podcasts, share the show, tell a friend. It all helps us grow our audience and improve the show. Remember to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, TikTok, and Twitch, which are currently live streaming on right now, and come join our Discord. Make sure to support us by checking out our merch store and our Patreon, as this is how we fund the show and do giveaways. All of these links and more can be found on our website at boostoverball.com. And from us here on the show, as always, remember to choose Boost over Ball. See ya.
Thanks for listening to the Boost Over Ball podcast. Make sure to check out our website at boostoverball.com.